about this, right? That I want. Well, no. The thing that Mont, that I wonder about JP's point, right, is he'll say, right, that he was able to leverage some of the social programs, right, to get over. Yeah, you pay me. This how you take an advantage, right? I wonder why JP doesn't acknowledge how you do it in an inverse, right? So in a capitalistic society, if you have particular acumen, find a field and able to scale it, you can literally take advantage of how this government is set up in the same way. But I wonder why, JP, you don't give credence to that, right? And I agree with mine. If you don't show me nothing, I can't put you on the field. But I wonder, JP, so if I take advantage on the inverse, right? If I take advantage of the tax code and I build a business that they can't just break down and it's actually needed and necessary. So like, as an example, during COVID, my business was, what was it called where you could work even though you weren't supposed to be essential workers, right? And now I'm able to put my family in a position, right? While manipulating this system just like you are. Why don't you show love to that side?
Africa. It's not your home. Okay? We're not the only people that suffer this. People, do you hear people in Brazil saying that it's not their home? Why are we the only motherfuckers making this fucking stupid argument in 2026? This is home. Figure a fucking way out. Niggas made it out of slavery. You mean to tell me in the days of AI and motherfucking cell phones, cryptocurrency, and every fucking thing else, you can't figure a way out to motherfucking make money and be successful when everybody else around you is doing it? This shit is horrible, dog. All we do is make excuses about why we as a group are not being fucking successful in the most successful fucking place on the planet. But you got people that literally come from fucking mud huts and rice paddies that get here and figure it out in lesser time. This shit is sad. But because a nigga understand it, he's like, hey man, well, hey. And Mont said the same shit. You know, all we gotta do is adopt the shit. And I think Hemp fucking, you know, alluded to it. I'm not saying he necessarily said that, but he put it on the Asians as the Asians took the prescriptions of the white people and applied it, and not only motherfucking matched, but beat the white people. Once you make yourself so fucking the system dependent upon you, you can't be removed. That's not the fucking white man protecting him. It's the Asian and the Indian taking their own protection by making them fucking irreplaceable. But stupid niggas don't understand that. You have to have a certain level of intellect, okay, and understanding of systems and strategy to understand that if and when you have a certain amount of skill set, okay, or you so the system is dependent upon you in certain areas, you don't have to worry about being quote unquote took out. Niggas is talking about shit that happened before they fucking even existed or were thought about as excuses as to why we're not successful currently. But hey, man, it is what it is, dog.
Okay.
It is what it is.
Address his point though.
Well,
I addressed every point. What a point did I miss?
It's always the particular point that you made that you addressed more directly is this is your homeland, and then he's saying simply take advantage. Sorry, go ahead, Chief. Go ahead. You said it, so go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, it's that's part of JP's point, right? The fact that we are in America and this is our quote unquote homeland due to forcibility and not necessarily due to natural selection or being here all from the start is part of why JP is saying there's no respect, right? You can say you disagree, and I think generally you would just say you disagree, but I think that's what he was getting at and alluding to, and I think generally speaking, even of other races, including like immigrants that come here, they have a lack of respect too, and they will say something similar to what JP was saying, like you're not from here. Like I don't know if you've seen that Haitian girl that was like, you dirty black Americans, you don't even know where you're from, and she was trying to
clean basically.
She's a Haitian,
but what
who gives a fuck?
That's not the point. Fantastic.
Basically, what I'm saying is, I would have had our.
Wait, JP. I think because I know you talk, it's gonna go left. I don't know, not for you, but fantastic. The fact that we're in the position we're in it goes more to JP's point as to why the respect level may not be there amongst people that have another place to claim as home. From origin.
Cheeky, no, that's still cap. It's still bullshit.
Okay,
these people,
okay.
We're too far into the game, and too many generations removed from the immigrants and so on and so forth. You don't have this very, very high, constant fucking immigration point of where it's just more and more brand new Asians than there are people that have been here for generations on generations, and they're just American. However many generations deep of Asians. You don't have a fucking truckload of fucking new Asians that's coming here every year. And no, bro, that's not what it is. You're framing this shit falsely to make a horrible fucking weak ass argument. You don't need someone. These people that are here now, they not fucking going back to motherfucking India or going back to China. Because why? Why you gonna go back there and be poor? They left from there because it was
Okay.
fucking poor and destitute and no fucking opportunity.
Okay, so I guess the better question is, do you place any importance on cultural origin?
Cultural, that's a totally different argument. Of course, obviously, the culture.
Okay, so before we go into that, I need to break it down. So yes, you place some importance on cultural origin. Why? Why do you place importance on cultural origin?
But the cultural origin has cultural origin has a frame set and still is a system. The cultural origin says, hey, man, woman, marriage, family, child.
Right. Depending on the area of
the vast majority of them agree with that.
Yeah.
All of the foreign,
I'm not disagreeing. I mean, I'm
further
agreeing
issue
with you.
goes the concept.
Right. So, but also not just family structure. It comes other things as well, like vocabulary, language, spirituality, cultural understanding, certain things like that. Right. Do you think that those things, if passed down to a generation, passed down generation to generation, would help establish a foundation of what it means to be you, some level of cultural identity? Do you think that's important to have?
Yes, but
Okay.
we are the group of people that choose not to do that for whatever reason. That's not on nobody outside of us. That's an internal issue. We have
Okay,
so my question would be, do black people not have the ability, like every other group of people, to pass down morals, values, and principles?
I would agree they do. It's just the point that I think JP is making is the origin of those moral values and principles aren't our own. They've been something that we've adopted.
That's bullshit, though, Chief.
Wait. Fantastic. I'm not saying that. I want you to just think about what.
Well, again, I hate y'all. I hate y'all fucking being a translator for a stupid nigga, for one.
Y'all
are making points. Y'all are making points he couldn't even fathom or think to put together. So now I got to fight against a motherfucker that's building on top of shit and actually motherfucker turning it into something. So now that I'm talking to Cheeky, Cheeky, this is where your argument fucking fucks up, right? This is where all this shit falls apart.
Sure. Okay. Go ahead.
Well, all this shit falls apart is black people found a way to overcome slavery. Once we overcome slavery and do all these things, we were doing some of the best that we were ever fucking doing up until, as a group, until fucking integration. Once integration happened and niggas can sit on the white man's toilet and eat next to the white man in his motherfucking restaurant, now niggas separate and start doing all this crazy shit. We were much worse off from a financial standpoint, from a fucking a sociological standpoint, when we were quote unquote oppressed, but we were together. When niggas were given quote unquote freedom, this is where we started to go away from all the principles and values that helped us survive and stay where we had to get where we were. So this is why I'm saying my shit is already proof positive and evidence, and it's there. We've already done it. Right, so why have we removed from it, chose not to return to it, when everybody else is using that same framework in their own way, in their own culture, to be successful?
Let me say this right quick. Well, all you have to do is look at other cultures and realize what we not doing, what they are doing, and they are more successful. For an example, we could say that Mexicans, they live in a large number. They have a large number group of people living in their house. Why? They become more successful. That's how they own all of the blocks in the hood. They got all these food trucks. Where these degenerate black folks, they individuals talking about, they laugh at me for getting food truck. They let alone you ain't moving in their house. That's one. Secondly, when you talk about we are Americans, if that was the case, why do we get singled out by Black American, African American, woo out the bam? And also, why is it if we all are just Americans? Because in other countries, when you say you're a Mexican, you just all Mexicans, right? So they got to divide us amongst us, right? So that's one. And then within part of that division, we get the very percentage of that pie of being in America. The only little 14th Amendment gave us a little piece of that pie, right? So, but if we all just Americans, we still got disadvantages when it comes to the court of law. Based on our that small percentage of the pie, we get done wrong. The courts will tell you that. The police will tell you that in work environments. This is why they had to imply the DEI, because black folks weren't really getting hired like that because of people want to just stick to their own. It comes down to banks, redlining, buying houses. So that little piece of pie that you keep trying to say, we Americans. One thing, I don't care if these people come from a mud hut. What they do have that we don't got is that they got their own. You can build from there. You sit up here talking about we successful. This is the American shit, and they gonna let you know it every single day. And then they make you compromise your manhood for that shit every single day. How many black men gotta sit up here and watch another man to tell him that you can't discipline your kids? You gotta see your kids on the weekend.
Right,
your woman
condense it.
Okay, condition. Your wife don't have to listen to you. So at the end of the day,
Yeah, they might got mud huts, but they got their own land. Where you got to be up in this rich land getting subjugated and treated like a bitch to the point where you got to self-inflict and come at me, who don't give a fuck about you. We supposed to be on the same squad, but since you
yeah, let me get what's up, EBD? Let me get EBD then Rock because they haven't spoken.
I mean, it's a good conversation, but I mean, I would say the prescription to all of it is I think the word and it's been thrown around is ownership. When we have ownership of especially property, it means that we can build our own schools, hospitals, neighborhoods, corporations, companies, international goods, services, global, and then after that, trust, right? And then financial wealth and things like that. And that's the difference what separates Asians and Indians and other immigrants who benefit from our fight. We were the only people who were pretty much decreed by the original founders that we were going to be chattel from the time that we're born until the time that we're dead. And without any kind of fight or struggle, we would probably still be living under that same system today. So there are too many systems that we had to fight in order to get all the rights that we have now that other immigrants get to enjoy, but we still don't. We still have none of the property ownership. We still have none of the ownership that other immigrant groups enjoy, including financial. They have their own currency. Chinese people have their own currency, Indians. So they have a conversion rate, even though they come with quote unquote, we say that they have nothing, but they actually do have their own of everything. They have their own version of everything. We don't have our own version of anything. And then when we did try and build, it was burnt down. So none of these other immigrant groups were subjugated to a government, the American government in particular, specifically persecuting them throughout all of human history, so much to a degree to where we're projected to own less than nothing but debt to be passed down from generation to generation, while other people can pass on wealth, businesses, restaurants, property, homes, you name it. It's all through inheritance. If we have no inheritance, but only debt and rent to pay and things like that, and no property ownership, then you really don't have a future to stand on. You don't have a foundation to where you can build and then grow and then acquire.
Chinese people have currency here?
No, they don't.
No, they have their own. No, the Chinese have their own currency. The Indians have their own currency.
And they countries?
So when they leave India, they can convert it to the USD. Chinese the same thing. Pakistanis the same thing.
Now tell us the rate. Tell us the rate conversion, EBD. EBD, tell us hold on, no, cheeky, no. Now, EBD, tell us the conversion rate.
Oh, the conversion rates have changed through history.
Which one is worth more though? EBD, enlighten us. Which one is fucking
which
Indian
is worth
currency worth more than the dollar, or is fucking the dollar worth more than Indian and Chinese currency?
Like rubles or something like that? What's the conversion rate in 2026? We can look it up. What's your point?
So you didn't answer the question. Answer the question. Which
no,
one is worth
I don't
more?
have the answer to the question.
EBD,
So how many answer is fucking the American dollar, bro.
How many
come over here,
rupees for a dollar?
It's poor. That's why they're poor fucking countries.
What's your point?
What was your point of making that point?
What's the point of him bringing up fucking foreign currency to come over here?
He missed the whole point.
What was your point of making that point, EBD?
No. When I was saying, I was running down the history of why immigrants, like, even though we say they have nothing, where they come from, they have their own currency, they have their own religion, they have their own everything. And when they come over here, they still have family that lives in their original country. So money can go back and forth. Number one, that's number one. And number two, when they have ownership, meaning they have their own businesses, which they can keep in the family, which they can pass down to their children, and which they can own and acquire.
All right, let me ask a couple questions. I heard that part. All right, so let me ask a couple questions. Okay, so the obvious question is, what stops us from owning?
Right. I would say particularly systems of government in the United States.
What stops us from owning things?
What do you mean what stops us? We haven't been allocated any property. Property is tied to everything. Okay. Schools, hospitals, bridges.
Are you saying that the immigrants who come over, they already have those things established for them?
No, but they have access to it.
What do you mean?
Access to ownership that we don't have. Like
how is that happening?
Like you've eaten through Chinese restaurants that's been passed down from generation to generation. Just
real quick, we got to be more pointed, right? So we're talking about the people who came. Did somebody give them that restaurant, or did somebody build that restaurant?
I don't understand the question.
Yeah, like so the first generation that came over, they started a Chinese restaurant, or did the government say, "Here's a Chinese restaurant for you"?
No. It's usually a building, right, built by whoever.
Okay, but so what's stopping us from doing that? That's my point. That's my question.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. There has to be a system that says, hey, here's a building, and then whoever comes to acquire that building through whatever financial means you have to acquire a loan in order to build a business, but in order to turn it into a restaurant. That restaurant makes money.
Okay. So you're saying, all right, you're saying that we don't have access to the capital to do things like that.
Correct.
Or you're saying it's a disparity in access.
Disparity in access, severe disparity in access.
Okay, how do you substantiate that?
Because we simply just don't have our own.
You're saying the only reason why we don't own is because we don't have access to capital.
No.
You're saying yes, that's the reason. You're saying hold on.
Yes,
okay.
That's the reason.
So you're saying there's a disparity in how they loan out, like what they'll loan to black people as opposed to people of other races.
Correct.
Okay. Can he substantiate that as opposed to just? Can he substantiate that with the home ownership anecdotal examples of when they were trying to sell a house with and they thought it was white people? It was what was it? The amount they could sell it for increased or decreased? Are black people seen differently? Is there a disparity in loans? So do they give black people loans for cars because they know they want and need the car? And is that different from loans from small business loans?
Yeah, no, let's just stick with small business loans. Bro.
If you can take a house, the price of a house, and if you're able to start a business because of the price of the house, you can take another mortgage out and get access to capital from your house, which is why your house is the most valuable thing.
Do they give us home loans?
And with it, they give us home loans, but they give us higher interest rates.
You just heard your point, right? Because if you're saying that they give us home loans and then you can build equity, then pull that money to start a business, and there's no disparity in home loan ownership, then that would hurt your point. I think the reason why I'm talking through it is because y'all take too long, right?
No,
so,
I got you.
I got you. So now what you did have a point was probably 80, 70 years ago when there was a disparity in loans, right? Now, anecdotally, but I think my experience trumps it, is that I have homes in 4 different places, 4 different states, right? And so based on your credit score, right, and your debt to income ratio, right, they give you a percentage point, and it's also based on what the market percentage point is. You can also literally buy down your loan or percentage, right? So if they give you a 5.5, you can buy it down to 5.
Yeah, I guess I'm not talking about modern day times. I'm talking about a systemic issue that affects us as a social collective, not an individual. Well, what you can do today in 2026.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
And that's the difference.
So then that would go to kind of like JP's point. We can't do it as a group. It'd only be individuals, and as an individual, you have no power. And you're saying systemically, it still affects us in terms of loans and et cetera. Because are you saying that they see us in a particular way?
Right.
Okay. All right. Rock, what did you want to add? I got you. What did you want to add?
What's going on, everybody?
What's poppin'?
I wanted to go back to your list of prescriptions that you laid out, which I don't think were that extreme at all. I just think that what you made the contingency on was the extreme. But the question becomes, what are we willing to give up to address the problem? Or again, you and Sherelle were talking about collateral damage. What are we willing to give up or do to address that problem? Because voting's not the initial problem. Yeah, voting's this aftermath of okay, you can't vote if you don't do this.
It's a consequence.
We're doing this to address this.
Yeah,
and then what?
Rock, that was a problem, right? And see, the problem can be hinged on what I put in limbo, right? It was ignored the fact that we are federally fucked without quote unquote extreme prescriptions, but instead they wanted to talk me down about voting. Right. So I'm saying, put anything in contention. The fuck, nigga, you can't drive anymore. Whatever it is, I'm saying that we need to do something different because Mr. Fantastic, the one that brought 2053 to my attention. I rolled off the bed last night, tossing and turning about 2053, and I was naked.
I'm celebrating. I can't wait for a lot of these niggas to go because I know one of the first ones gonna be in line.
Well, I ain't celebrating. I ain't celebrating.
I'm celebrating because one in particular
because we have too much family that is subject to the things that are going to make them a permanent underclass. We don't have enough degrees of separation. See, we don't have a big enough pool of people. When I go to a cookout, I don't know about you, but it's rich people and it's poor people and it's people on Section 8 and it's people that got this, that, and the third, and it's all the same family.
Now, everybody can't make it.
Now let me do this. I got to get mine. He been waiting. What were you trying to say?
I was gonna say a couple of different things, but to the point you just made,
1.25.
Everybody's
speed, on 1.25 speed.
Everybody is not successful because nobody want to listen. JP don't want to look at somebody that's successful and be like, "Yo, big cuz, like, what you doing? Like, how can I?" And then when I just tell JP, like, "Listen, just go do this, and once you show me that you serious, I'll put you on." He like, "Fuck you. You ain't gonna put me. You ain't gonna give me the blueprint. You ain't gonna just let me in and invite me in. You ain't gonna make me a part of your brand.
Yeah.
Right. That's the reason, because we don't really. I don't think we have a community, because we don't all agree on the foundational things that we need to agree on, like the character, right? Like hard work, right? Don't nobody want to work hard. So AP want to be the leader. He a chief. He want to be. I mean, he an Indian. He want to be the chief, and he got the least to show for it.
The thing about this, right? That I want. No. The thing that I wonder about JP's point, right, is he'll say, right, that he was able to leverage some of the social programs, right, to get over, you pay me, this how you taking advantage, right? I wonder why JP doesn't acknowledge how you do it in an inverse, right? So in a capitalistic society, if you have particular acumen, find a field and able to scale it, you can literally take advantage of how this government is set up in the same way. But I wonder why, JP, you don't give credence to that, right? And I agree with mine. If you don't show me nothing, I can't put you on the field. But I wonder, JP, so if I take advantage on the inverse, right? If I take advantage of the tax code and I build a business that they can't just break down and it's actually needed and necessary. So like, as an example, during COVID, my business was, what was it called where you could work even though you weren't supposed to be
essential workers.
And now I'm able to put my family in a position, right, while manipulating this system just like you are. Why don't you show love to that side? Make it quick, JP, if you don't mind. And because I got to go. That's all I'm saying.
Because that's a good argument if you was building a black man infrastructure. You are working in an infrastructure that another man is ruling over you. You're not in a position to be waiting 100 years. These people have 400 years in a race than us. Mm-hmm. So if you get up there and you get the resources and you can pass some, you might be good in this specific thing, but your brother might be good in this, but he just can't go to school for the shit. But if you get to this point, you're not in no position to be talking about. A lot of these black people, they think they get money. They think they just as equal as the white man, and you are not. You're not equal to no other race of men on the planet. And every other race of man, they won't never tell you because they feel like they too much above you to even conversate with you about all of this. So you're not in that position. And again, if you was building a black male infrastructure, you would have a perfect argument. And we would have been building our own shit, but we building, and then just to close out with this, it's 12 other countries. Dollar is more valuable than the white man's dollar. 12 other countries. You got Kuwait, you got Euro, you got Swiss francs, you got Jordan Diner, you got British pound, you got Amani. So y'all be putting America on this high pedestal.
How many fucking countries are there in the world?
Those are white people. That point is they still white people, right? JP, but what I'm saying is but we don't, because I just want to work through this real quick, right? So when you saying you understand that, right? We are under the confines of somebody. We are not in charge. We agree, right? But do you think that what you do is taking advantage of what you have in front of you?
So what I'm doing is I'm taking advantage with a different plight, right? A lot of like when y'all do it, y'all doing it to just shit on a lot of. I truly believe the black people that try to become successful, they only do it to compete with the black people that's lower than them. You do not. This is the moment y'all get up there. The first person you go shit on is the people, the blacks that's behind you. You don't go talking, bragging, and calling Chinese people broke. You don't do it to white people. You don't do it to Indian people. You come to niggas and tell them niggas like Jay Prince for president, you ain't shit. You the bum, and woo out the bed. And I got this, I got that. How come you ain't doing that shit to them Asians?
Okay,
how
question.
You ain't doing that pussy ass
question. Hold on. Question, JP. How do you substantiate that? Are you going off just a couple anecdotal examples? How do you know that? Well, let me ask you this. Better question. I got a better question. My bad. Now, right? Because we all come from where we come from and we build ourselves up, right? So now what happens if, like, let's use me as an example. I have 14 men who come from wherever they come from. All 14 of these men are black men, right? And they come, I've them bailed a couple out of jail, got them different jobs, better than what I provide to them as a mover, right? So what happens then? So if you eliminate the shitting part, I'm literally taking advantage of the system in front of me, just like you are, but just in the inverse.
Okay, that will be a different plight then because you're using this system to actually liberate us.
There we go. But we both using it though. We both using it. You heard?
Yeah. But no, I get what you're saying, Hamp.
Okay.
Yes, if you're going to use the system to liberate us, then yes, okay, I'm okay with that. Black love. But that's not what these punks doing. Fantastic come up here talking about he got a house and I'm broke. This is something I ain't never. He using these white men's infrastructure to shit on niggas like me or niggas that's below him because he don't have no confidence amongst himself. All his confidence is in the hands of the white man.
What if it's
all of his confidence comes in the hands of white men infrastructure or stuff that
Now,
don't have
this nigga that said
substance.
my name like 30 times.
I got you. You also used to this, Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah,
JP,
because
what if
they
it's
keep
tough
saying my
love?
name.
Yeah, what if it's tough love?
No, love feel like love. You can't piss on somebody's
Love here at all.
That's no love. That's no love. That's specifically trying to. He have something dealing with amongst himself, and so he feel intimidated by me when I come up here and speak. Because when I'm not here, he's the light until the real light show up, and that's Jay Prince for president.
Right.
Oh, United Negro Nation of the Black House. The people label that.
And him,
so that's for him.
All right, JP, let's get some responses. You
Everybody,
Say this before we go to the sponsor.
you got 15 seconds.
All I want to say, although these people might be doing better than me, but I got something this is why they always come at me. My voice didn't take no effort. People was willing to listen to me, and they can actually feel me. And there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that can relate to me. Then somebody talking about, oh, they live a high on the hall.
All right, land that plane.
How nobody relate to that nigga.
Christ.
All right, let's go to. Don't you drink? Don't.
A bum in the middle of the day
All
without
right,
a fucking
go ahead,
job.
Mr. Fantastic, and then
mine.
Mont. Go ahead.
Yeah, so again, man, my name's been broke so many times, so I'm gonna try to be halfway decent here. A piece of shit nigga that can't keep a job, can't keep a home, can't even keep a YouTube channel, has come to another fucking body else YouTube channel to even have a voice at this point. It's claiming some shit that was never even off the ground, right? These are the problems with the black community. This nigga here is this nigga here, bro, is exactly who motherfucking Dr. Umar was talking about when he said for good. Okay? These niggas are the scourge of the black community and need to be removed immediately to never return. The fact of the matter that a person that has never accomplished anything in life, and you stupid ass niggas in the chat are just challenging it, is why I cannot wait for 2053 to get here. I cannot wait to look at you niggas from my home, okay, that I will probably have turned into a fucking compound by that point, and laugh at you niggas and kill each other over fucking bread in a motherfucking bread line. I cannot wait.